Frank Miniter from Forbes is with us on the program right now. Frank, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Cam. Good to be here again.
Good talking with you. So yesterday we got the news, the lawsuit filed against the Seattle gun tax, the ammo tax by NRA, NSSF, Second Amendment Foundation. You write about this at Forbes, and you say, yes, in fact, there are those out there who say that gun owners should be taxed to pay for quote-unquote gun violence prevention efforts, right?
Yeah, there sure are. You know, there are really two types, just to split it very basically, in America that view guns in the Second Amendment. Those who see gun owners as a mostly law-abiding, good, free populace, just enacting their rights. And those who see gun owners as a part of the problem, as someone who have to be controlled, as maybe even complicit in arming criminals, whether intentionally or unintentionally through their gun marketplace. Those two different diverse views of guns in America are there, and in evidence right here in this Seattle tax on ammunition and guns, as a unanimous vote there at Seattle City Council, and then signed by their mayor. They're all from the view that gun owners are part of the problem and need to pay for that problem they see them as engendering, which is silly when you start to really look at statistically what's going on out there and how guns actually do reduce crime and so on. And as I note in Forbes, as you look at gun ownership, handgun ownership specifically, you look at the FBI statistics, about 3/4 of homicides or problems with firearms are those done with handguns. If you look at handgun ownership, you find out that urban to suburban to rural, handgun ownership just about doubles. That, of course, is legal handgun ownership. But yet most problems, most murders, problems with handguns are happening in cities, mostly with inner-city gang members. So that juxtaposition of those things shows you right there that actually legal gun ownership isn't the problem. There's another problem that needs to be addressed that, of course, isn't being addressed by this Seattle tax on ammunition and guns.
Yeah, because as you say, the evidence points out that it's not legal, law-abiding gun owners who are out there committing these violent crimes. These are people who are illegally possessing and certainly illegally using firearms. They're not concerned about the tax. Likely they're already getting the five-finger discount, or they're buying on the black market, Frank.
Right. You know, I've sat down with the ATF asking them where are they getting, where are they illegal, where are they getting guns. And mostly they're buying it, from a black market. And the time to crime view of a gun, which is an ATF term, is about 10 years in the state of New York, and that's what it pretty much is nationally. So they're mostly not getting guns from gun stores and so on. They're getting stores through illegal markets, friends, and so on. They're not getting it through legitimate means that would be controlled by a tax on ammo and guns.
So is this a feel-good measure on the part of those who would try to implement this tax? Is this just a wrong-headed belief that they really do think they're going to be able to reduce violence, or at least, or is this just a funding mechanism? We've got these programs, and we'll make the gun owners pay for these programs.
Right, it is a redistribution of wealth from the gun-owning community into inner-city America, and that's what Democrats, of course, like. But look at it from another perspective. I mean, sin taxes have been around since the beginning of America. We try to say, okay, this is an activity that maybe shouldn't be propagated, that should be stopped or at least controlled in some means or another. Well, this sort of tax is punishing the law-abiding gun owner who's paying this tax and going to the range and shooting his firearms for good behavior. They're not punishing the criminal who's getting guns through a completely different means. So it's actually punishing good behavior instead of trying to stop bad behavior. It's the wrong counterintuitive approach for solving this issue.
Where would a better direction be for the city of Seattle, Frank? I mean, clearly, I think they've made their bed, and now they're going to have to get sued in it. But what could the city do differently if they really were serious about trying to reduce violent crime?
You know, the funny thing is it's actually very simple. The sad thing is, because all they have to do is enforce the laws. Straw purchasing laws, for example. I mean, you have more of a chance of being hit by lightning than you do if you commit a straw purchase, buy a gun for a criminal, of being prosecuted for that crime. And that's according to FBI statistics. So they're not actually going out there and enforcing these laws, especially in the inner city neighborhoods. Instead, they're looking outward to the law-abiding gun owner and saying they're the problem, let's control them.
Talking with Frank Miniter, writing at Forbes, again, about the new gun tax and ammo tax. This has been done, I guess, in Cook County as well, right? The only other place in the country that has done this?
Right. Illinois, California has played with this over and over again. It's a constant refrain. There is a bill in Congress, not much chance of passing, but that has been around since 2013 to try to do this. So it is a part of the anti-gun establishment to try to tax away this freedom we have to own guns and shoot ammunition. So it's out there, and it's something we have to be aware of and fight for that freedom on, I believe.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about the Gun Violence Prevention and Safe Communities Act. It always has these lovely titles, right? Like the New York Safe Act, but they never actually do what they say they're going to do. This would double or nearly double the current 11% tax on handguns. You say raise the ammo tax from 11% to 50%?
Yeah, and that's nuts. And it's all, again, redistribution of wealth to fund inner-city programs, which I don't even know what they are. Gun buyback programs, what are they going to be? They haven't really said that. But they're inner-city programs that they want to fund to feel-good measures that haven't been shown to work. Just back up the criminal code. It's right there. Go and arrest those people and put them in jail. Actually seek out those people who straw purchase and do other things illegally with guns. And you'll solve this issue. But instead, they want to go after the law-abiding gun owner.
Yeah, it was amazing. We saw a story out of Milwaukee last week. There was a young man who was charged with illegally obtaining 27 handguns and then apparently selling them on the black market. He got a year's probation, Frank, in federal court.
Wow. No, he should be away for a long time.
You know, but yet we need another law, right? It's not about enforcing the ones we have on the books. We got to have another one.
That's what they want to do.
All right, listen, I appreciate you coming on the program, Frank. It's always a pleasure talking with you.
Anytime, Cam.
All right, we'll do this again soon. Frank Miniter writing at Forbes.